Third generation 2021 Nissan Rogue Platinum. Is this a luxury car badged as a Nissan? Let's find out. Well, first impressions are a good thing, and as I back out of the driveway, my gosh, the 360 camera in here has finally entered into the modern era. Nissan and Infiniti, for that matter, have been for so long offering 360 cameras. They're one of the first manufacturers to do it and do it pretty well, but it hasn't been updated for a long time. Well, I'm happy to report the 360 camera in here is extraordinarily sharp and high resolution. And that's just the beginning for this Rogue. This thing is made in Japan. I had no idea that the Platinum, which is new for this generation, is produced in Japan before getting this vehicle. The rest of them are built here in the United States, whether you get the S, SV, or the SL. But if you want the full-on luxury variant of the Rogue, it's built in Japan. That's pretty cool. Also, the exterior design of this new Rogue is very pleasing to the eye. I think this is just me, I think it looks better than its biggest rivals, which are going to be the Toyota RAV4 and the Honda CR-V. I think it looks better than both of them quite easily. The V-Motion grille looks excellent on this new model. The LED headlights and blinkers up front look pretty good. Yeah, on the back, the taillights aren't that inspiring, but I like how clean the back is. You know, there's no fake exhaust tips, or you can't even see the real exhaust tip. You have to get under the vehicle to see what's going on down there. So I really enjoy the clean lines of this vehicle, front and back. And on the side, you have very little window, or I should say chrome window trim. It's just on the top end of the windows, and I think it's just a very, very good looking vehicle from every single angle. And Nissan has done what they needed to do in terms of exterior design on this new Rogue in order to keep their best-selling vehicle in the eyes of consumers. Now, when we're getting on the interior, holy cow, I was not expecting a Rogue to have this nice of an interior. And this is probably why it's built in Japan. This thing is adorned like a luxury vehicle. The semi-aniline leather, guys, when I hear that word, I think Lexus. That's the same sort of leather that Lexus uses in their vehicles when they're not using their synthetic. So, holy cow, top of the line semi-aniline leather, and the stitching and the quilting in here is just gorgeous. I don't know, is quilting the right word, but the stitching is absolutely beautiful on every single seat, the front and the three rear seats. It's just a very put together upholstery in here, and man, I'm all about that leather. And just the looks on the interior, the leather that also goes on the doors is very soft, very comfortable, very pleasing to eye with this caramel-like interior. Now, when I'm talking about luxury, you have to also mention features. This has one of the best heads-up displays I've seen. The font size and the clarity, this might be the easiest to read heads-up display. Oftentimes heads-up displays give me kind of like this 3D effect. It's hard for my eyes to focus on. I get double vision. It's a weird thing, but this is crystal clear. I know it's really hard to show on camera, but just take my word for it. It is so easy for my eyes just to rest upon the large and bright font of this heads-up display. The panoramic roof in here kicks serious butt. You guys know I love the pano roofs. I enjoy it here in sunny Southwest Florida. And infotainment. This is a very important part here for this new Rogue. This new screen is crystal clear, like I mentioned with the 360 camera, but also how fast, by the way, it does have dials, volume and tuning dials. Thank God, Nissan, you rock for that. How fast it changes the stations is so satisfying. Oftentimes in modern vehicles, when you're just trying to flip through the stations, one, you don't have a tuning knob, and two, you can't quickly fly through the stations with the tuning knob. So I love the usability, the quickness of this new touchscreen. And yeah, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, you can get those wirelessly as well. They work great on here. I would not use the factory navigation. I tried telling the vehicle, here, I'll just do it for you guys.
Please say or select a command.
Take me to Starbucks.
You can interrupt the voice prompt.
Right, it just doesn't, it doesn't work. So even trying to get out of it is just a nightmare. There we go, we're out of that navigation part. To me, it reminds me of like an old Toyota or Lexus setup before they had before they were synced to the cloud and things like that. So yes, don't buy this car for navigation, for the navigation package. Your phone through Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is the way to go with this sort of setup. So let's get back to that pretty audio menu. I love seeing this menu up here. I think it's very well executed and easy to read, and yeah, it just makes me happy. Now, we're still talking luxury. In the back, we have tri-zone climate control. So you have dual climate control up front, but you actually have climate control for the rear. I can't tell you how many luxury vehicles don't have climate control in a 2-row passenger sort of vehicle. A 5-passenger vehicle, you have second row climate control. That's phenomenal. Of course, you have heated seats back there, and you have a USB-C and a USB-A fast charging ports back there as well. So the amenity, did I mention sunshades? Yes, you get sunshades back there as well. So it's just a very well appointed and luxurious back seat. And one of the things that actually is missing that you would typically see in luxury vehicles is going to be reclining passenger seats in the rear. But other than that, it's super luxurious back there, just like it is up here in the front. And lastly, a few more features that I forgot to talk about when I was out in the normal review. This is post-review, by the way, inception. Anyways, climate control. I love the knobs. I love the customization here. The buttons are big. It's so easy to adjust your climate control. The heated seats work great up front. Memory seat up here for the driver, and then you have a great Bose system, by the way. I maxed this out the other day and I didn't hear any like noticeable distortion, so the Bose sound system in here sounds real good. And then you have the digital cluster behind the steering wheel, which is all new for the new Rogue, and it looks great. It's mostly black, red, and gray, but it gets the job done and it's very clear. It's a very good upgrade from what we've seen on past Rogues. All right, now let's get back into the driving impressions. Now we've gone over the good looking exterior, the amazing interior on this Platinum trim of this Rogue. Let's talk about the performance of this vehicle. And it's not going to wow you guys in terms of performance. 2.5 liter, it's new for this. They revised the 2.5 liter. It's direct injected now, has 181 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque. It's still mated to a CVT, and that's going to sap all your enjoyment out of this vehicle. Nissan thinks that giving us the paddle shifters with a CVT is a good thing, but I'm telling you, this thing could really go for a traditional 8-speed automatic or 7-speed automatic in that regard. But I know Nissan's trying putting the 9-speed into some of their more modern vehicles. I'm not gonna take my eyes off of this McLaren here though. It's pretty orange. It's cool. It's cool. It's one of the perks of living down here. Anyways, yes, no automatic transmission outside of the CVT, and there's no VC turbo in here, which is surprising because, heck, the Altima has the VC turbo. Why can't we not get the VC turbo in this vehicle? Maybe it would encroach on the QX50's sales since that has the VC turbo. I think that's a strong possibility. But in terms of performance with this engine, it's gonna get, yeah, let's just hammer it. Yeah, responsiveness is not great, as you would expect from, you know, a CVT. But once the horsepower gets to peak horsepower, it gets along pretty well. Just keep in mind when you're like merging into traffic, as I do oftentimes out onto the highway here where I live, you gotta almost get into the gas way harder than you think you should. So that's just the result of the CVT. Again, I'm at a full stop. Here, let's put it in the race mode. Got a nice dial there, and go. Yeah, okay. Flipping it back into normal mode. The initial response was actually decent, and then it just fell flat on its face until we were able to get some decent torque and horsepower built up with the CVT. It's not a performance vehicle. It definitely rides more like a subdued luxury vehicle. The ride is very nice in here, by the way. If you can get past the lackluster powertrain, the ride in here is very comfortable. You float around. The brakes in here are pretty predictable. It handles well around the turns for what it is. We're gonna get onto the brakes late here with the stop sign, and I'll communicate what I'm feeling. Good progression, good bite, very predictive. And I can't ask for anything more on a brake pedal, really. So I'd give it at least a B+, if not an A-. And I don't grade anything else in my reviews in terms of a grade scale, but for some reason I do it on the brakes, and these brakes are very, very good. B+, A-. I'd put the brake feel up there. It's really, really good. I mean, the usability in the very back, you have tons of cargo space. You have the Nissan patented, I call it divide and conquer. It's like divide and hide, I think is what it's called. But it is, it's pretty cool. It's not necessarily like a feature that I need to have in all of my vehicles going forward, but it is nice to kind of hide those precious items if you need to. The seats fold down with a very satisfying pull of the lever, and maybe, you know, since this isn't a true luxury vehicle, not having power folding seats, I mean, that no one's really going to complain about that in a Nissan Rogue. But the usability here when you have all those seats folded down is phenomenal, and that's why this package that is the Rogue, or the two row crossover that this vehicle is, the segment that it is so popular. It's really a no compromise vehicle. This has all-wheel drive. It gets good or decent enough fuel economy. The features in this Platinum trim are knocking on the luxury door, and in fact, a lot of these features like climate control in the second row, you're not going to find in most luxury vehicles that are kind of in the same size segment. So if you're in the market for a new crossover like the Rogue, like the CR-V, like the RAV4, taking a look at the Rogue here, not only do I think it looks the best, if you want to go all out with this Platinum and go very luxurious, its competition really can't match it in terms of the comfort and the quality, in my opinion, and the features. It's really, really close to a luxury vehicle. There's a Nissan right there, Kicks, that I just reviewed. Super cool, man. I just went he wove to me. He knew he done messed up. But like I said, the brakes in here are pretty good. I got on the brakes there pretty hard, and I reviewed that Kicks a couple of weeks ago, and I did enjoy that vehicle for what it is. I wouldn't get that vehicle in the top of the grade SR package, but man, I can definitely recommend this Nissan Rogue in this Platinum package. It rides great, it drives great, the interior and the features are amazing. It looks good on the outside. The only thing really holding this vehicle back is not having a true automatic transmission. I could easily live with this 181 horsepower, but not having the response that I want and not having that connection with the engine that I want, especially if I'm merging onto into the highway or onto the freeway. That's really the only downfall here. But man, just looking at this wood, it's probably fake wood, but hey, it fooled me. It looks good. Guys, I'll end it there. If you enjoyed today's video, smash the like button. What would you pick in terms of its competition? Would you pick the CR-V? Would you pick this Rogue? Or would you pick a new RAV4? I'll see you guys down below. I could definitely live with this vehicle if I had to. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.